Welcome to the Swordsport podcast, looking at the world of fencing through the OSU fencing lens. I'm Don Anthony. I'm your host tonight, and my guest is the indelible Matthew Bülau. Matthew, it's really good to have you, and it's exciting to be with you and really get you on the podcast. I've only been trying for 3 years, and you've just been, I shouldn't have said indelible. I said the elusive one. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
So it's my pleasure, as always. I want to do a little bit about your background and your journey to getting to OSU, what it's been like, since you got here. So tell me a little bit where you're from and how did you end up at Ohio State University?
So I'm from the Little Heidenheim, Germany. Started fencing when I was 6 years old. And then in 2021, I believe, or the beginning of 2022, my parents really came, I think my mom or my dad mentioned it at, the breakfast table to me. And they were like, Ohio State fence, going to the United States to fence. And before that, I didn't even know that college fencing existed. And then that whole day, we were just looking into the Ohio State University, looking into college fencing, learning more about what kind of that it's a growing space right now and how many athletes are here. And then also learning that Paul Feltrup, a very, very good German fencer, is also here. And then as soon as I learned more about that space and Ohio State, my mind was set on coming here. And then my parents and I, we made sure that we took every precautions and necessary steps to make it happen. And it was definitely the best decision of my life. And I'm forever grateful to have the opportunity to be here.
Well, it's been good to have you. So I want you to get a little closer to your mic so we can hear or pull the mic to you. Yeah, there you go. So that was during COVID, because I remember seeing you on Zoom. And it was funny, you were so young then. I thought you were a little guy because you were so young. And then I saw you at the Junior Cadet World Championships. And that's when I realized you were pretty tall. And you've grown even more since then. What was it like? First of all, it was COVID, and I remember that the clubs in Germany were closed, I believe. Yeah. So, but what was it like being a 6-year-old growing up through German fencing and that whole experience? And who were your coaches?
The thing was about my coach was my brother actually fenced before we had moved to Heidenheim. We're in a small town called Schwäbisch Hall. And my brother was 6 or 7 or 8, and I was 3 years younger than my brother. I still am.
You still am.
Still am. And I wasn't allowed to. So because they said you can only start fencing when you're 6 years old. So I always went to watch practice, but I wasn't allowed to. And then we moved to Heidenheim, and we were looking at sports that I should do, and I always wanted to fence. So my mom said, let's go. And then we went to the Fechtzentrum in Heidenheim, the fencing center. Mm-hmm. And as soon as we walked in, my coach now, he back then said, those two are mine, my brother and me.
Just claimed you.
Yeah, just claimed us. So he's been my coach ever since I'm 6 years old, going strong now. And it's really been amazing because since the first time I went to that little, there are 3 different groups. So you have the really little kids, Y9, Y10, and then you have the pre-cadets. I don't know what you would call it here. It's under 12,
under 17.
Yeah, under that. And then you have the juniors and seniors. So I was in the little group that was at 4 in the afternoon. And as soon as I went there for the first time, I met all the guys I hang out with. When I go home, I met the first week of fencing. And those are I consider them brothers. The connections have been amazing. And also the way we walk through life is very similar because we've always been navigating it together, spending hours together in practice, on the weekends going to competitions. So fencing has been the biggest part of my life always.
So you got here, Paul Feltrup was already on the team, a couple years ahead of you. What was it like being a freshman on this team with one of the best epee squads in the country?
It was amazing at some on the one side, but also terrifying on the other because I came from Germany being ranked number 1 for like 10 consecutive years, and I wasn't used to like actually having to compete in practice, and actually like no matter how hard I try every single day, still lose. So that was a very, very interesting adjustment and very frustrating adjustment. But I couldn't have wished for other people to be there to beat me every single day, because the way I transitioned from, it might have taken me a while, maybe a year or 2 to transition, but I had great mentors coming in. Especially, they made the transition very easy, and I learned so much, and especially my freshman year.
So you made that transition. Now you're a senior. You've been on a number of teams. This team, you're a captain. And tell me a little bit different from a team culture standpoint. What was different then based upon, and what's different now?
I'd say then it was more of everyone really, really, really wanting to be the best. But now I feel like we understand what we have to do to be the best versions of ourselves, but also contributing to the team effort. So not just coming in here every single morning and knowing, okay, I need to do what I need to do to be the best for myself. And now I feel like it's more of we come in here and we try to do to be the best for us and the team. And I felt like now we built connections that make us want to do it, not just for ourselves, but for our teammates as well. So I feel like that dynamic and that chemistry really shifted, or like was built in the beginning of this season, which I've never seen before. Like even talking to the freshmen, talking to Jakob, he was like, he said it another day, I've never went somewhere and felt like it was a family so fast. It was like, it feels like everyone cares about me. It feels like I can talk to everyone like how I want to talk to them or how I really am. I can be 100% myself. And that's what I feel. And I feel like that's the most important thing you need to be successful. Because also in all the teams I've been on in international, like for the national team, we've all been very, very close. So that's like, I feel like that's, in my personal experience, that's a very important ingredient to being successful.
So first of all, thank you for that. I've been working on that for 8 years. Finally got it. Based upon we'll see how it continues, and we will do that. You've been successful both domestically, you fence NCAA, and you fence internationally. Talk about a little bit of difference, and also between the two, and also your journey into becoming good and really successful in both of those.
It's so different. The two systems are so, so different. And nothing can really prepare you for it other than those first couple of competitions. And then you're really going to see, like, no one can tell you what the energy is going to be like. I remember that first meet. I think my first meet it had to be St. John's and UPenn my freshman year.
That's the tough weekend.
That's the tough weekend. But we went in, and I didn't really have the pressure on my shoulders because I knew Paul, Miles, and Gabe were going to start, and they just went crazy. I think they beat Columbia 9-0 that weekend. I don't think we lost a bout that weekend. It was amazing. And the energy in there was high from the beginning. Everyone was so tense, and it's a energy from the start that you don't get till later in competitions internationally, I feel like. And it's a different kind of pressure, because I feel like no one wants to let their team down, and everyone wants to perform at their best. And when you don't, you still have to get back up and keep going. At an international, at a World Cup, at a domestic competition, if you lose, you're out. Maybe not in pools, but like in the DE, you lose and you go home. And then you get weeks or months to prepare for the next one and process that loss. Here, it's you lose, and you have maybe, 20 minutes to get back? Maybe. At most, you have 20 minutes to get back in the game and try to perform at the highest levels again and again and again. And that can go that can't just happen once. That can happen literally 10 times over the time span of 48 hours, which is amazing, which teaches us so much about the discipline and of not going in that hole, which you have to dig yourself out of if you fall into it at a meet, at the beginning of an important meet. And I feel like both teach you a lot about the other. Like if you do well in one, you can really take away a lot of things for NCAA format. But if you do well in the NCAA format, you can take that away for international competitions.
So you fence internationally. You see a lot of the same fencers internationally that you sense in the NCAA. And you've been very successful recently. Talk about the level of the NCAA fencing, and then tell us a little bit about, especially last season for you.
I'm not sure how the NCAA men's epee world looked like before I got here, but I feel like that this season and also last season was NCAA-wise is maybe one of the best. Like we have the best of the best in the NCAA right now. Like I think we have 3 top 16 fencers of the world in the NCAA right now, which is amazing to get to compete with these people head to head. And then you have so many other fencers that could be contenders in the next 5 to 10 years, or will be contenders for the top 16 of the world in the next 5 to 10 years. So last season, I was traveling a lot last season, internationally, and also traveling to some NCAA competitions. And it was an interesting year because for me, I was traveling a lot to Europe and I spent a lot of time in Europe, but then I came back and I competed at St. John's and UPenn that double weekend. And that competition we also traveled to San Diego at the beginning of last season, which we started off the season amazing. I don't know if you remember that bus ride back after we beat the number 1 team in the country. That was one of the best like experiences I've had here. Like just the joy of everyone. It was amazing. And then unfortunately we weren't able to really hold that throughout that UPenn and St. John's weekend. And it's tough to switch back and forth between those two systems because then after that weekend I went straight back to Europe and then competed in the World Cup in Egypt, and then after in European Championships. And
where you did well.
Where I did well, fortunately, yeah. But I still feel like I still have to give my 2 cents to the NCAA format. I feel like I have way more to give than I've been able to show in the past 3 years. So I'm really hoping that I can make it possible this year.
Good. This is your year, El Capitan. So 3 years in, captain of the team. Tell me something about your most memorable experiences, and what do you value most about these 3 years, and what do you hope to come? I mean, I know what you hope to come competitively for, but what about the rest of your life?
The most memorable things, what we just talked about, was that bus ride back to the hotel after we beat Harvard that one weekend. That was just amazing. The energy was so high, and I felt like how we went and approached that whole competition was just great. That's one memory. Also, another memory was my freshman year when I was able to come and support the athletes who fenced at the NCAA Championships in North Carolina, and Paul got a 2nd place, and Jack Price did an amazing job. It was just amazing to come together as a team and just be there and support. Just sitting there watching like your mentors and the people that came before you achieve those things that you want to achieve later down the line, and you're being able to watch it firsthand and support them while doing it was just an amazing feeling. And that there showed me I just want to be great at the sport too. And I feel like this has been, the past 3 years have been the most valuable 3 years of my entire life. I came in as a 17-year-old, as a German, and I got thrown into, or I chose to dive into this system of...
You dove head first.
Into this system of another country, another culture, whole new experiences, new coach, new practice partners, everything. And at first, I didn't really know how to navigate it because who would, right? And just having all those inputs from everywhere, from school, from practice, from friends, from girls, obviously a part of it too, was just forming me and shaping me. And then I had to navigate through it and try to find my true self within, and like who I really want to be and how I want to navigate relationships, sports, academics. And I feel like it took me 3 years to actually come back to the person I really want to be and be like, okay, this is how I like to handle situations. I learned this, this, and this, and this. Okay, now I know how I like this. And this in every single aspect of life. So I don't think anything could have taught me better than coming here and having the opportunity to be part of this team and now being a captain, so I can maybe keep some of the freshmen from making the same mistakes I did, and also giving them like just being something they can hold on to when they need help.
Well, first of all, thank you for that. And they will thank you for that too. You've got an interesting practice squad, teammates. You got one of your German teammates on this squad this year. Talk a little bit about what it's like to have Jakob.
It's amazing. He's my brother. We fence. I recently found a picture at home of us fencing for the first time. We were both, I think, 12 or 13, fencing for the first time at German nationals. It was like under 14, under 13 German nationals. And Jakob was actually the first bout ever in my entire life and career I had lost in a competition. Ever. And it was like the first German nationals, semifinals against Jakob. The score was 8-10. He beat me. And then we sort of went our separate ways. And then we came back to having national training camps together for the cadet national team and junior national team, and then just started hanging out way more at World Cups and European circuits, training camps, got closer. And then we got our first international medals together at the European Championships in Naples 2 seasons ago. We've basically been there for the big moments, like for each other, and also for the moments that haven't been great, obviously, which makes a friendship valuable, is if you can be there at both. And having him here, it's interesting because we've been hanging out every single day before he came here, and now I'm a senior and he's a freshman. So it's kind of if he makes a bad joke, I'm like, Jakob, give me 10 push-ups. And he's like, as soon as we touch down in Germany, you can't tell me anything anymore. So, but then also just having someone right by your side where you know if he puts another 5 pounds on the bar, I'm going to put another 5 pounds on the bar, because we just push each other. Because I know his goals and he knows my goals. So there's not a day when he sprints next to me where I'm not going to try to beat him. Or even if we play tennis or pickleball or basketball, it's always competitive, which I love about our friendship, because we push each other to be great. And I have no doubt in my mind that there will be way more things that we'll accomplish together. And I have no doubt in my mind that he'll accomplish great things here.
So you speak of, first of all, that it's just interesting, his journey as well. You got here younger. He had to wait a year. So now you're going out and he's here. He's coming in. So we have a big international team. On your squad, you've got, I'll just go down and you can just give me your responses. Victor Kolchar.
Amazing guy too. He's a very well-trained fencer, a very well-thought person. I feel like he knows himself very well and what he needs to do to get the things done that he wants to accomplish.
You got the new addition, Sammy.
He's an athletic beast. He's literally like, I don't think there's any challenge he won't approach, or if you tell Sammy that he can, he will show you otherwise. So, and he's just brings to practice a very valuable mindset and energy, motivational notion of our men's epee team.
And then you've got some domestic guys on your squad. You got Ayush.
Ayush, man. Ayush he's always in a good mood, which I really appreciate about him. And he's just a hard worker too. I mean, he's a beast also. He works so hard in the gym. And I really like how we have different fencing styles. Like I can't come to practice any day and have easy bouts. It's always going to be a fight.
And then you got your freshman roommate, Noel Gibson.
And man, I love Noel. Freshman year was very memorable. We made so many memories together, especially like at the very, very, very beginning. It was so. The idea of me coming from Germany and living with a random person I've never met before in my entire life was crazy. But then, like, the first couple of hours were a little bit, like, frosty. And then we started talking, and there was like, oh, you do that too? It was like, oh, damn. Oh, and you do this? I was like, no way, me too. And it was like more and more and more things we had in common, and we got really close really fast. So that was amazing.
So one of the things that I want to do, and it's funny because Noel's not a short guy, but on this squad, he's the little guy. It's 6'1", 6'2", because you guys are so tall.
Yeah.
One of the things that I want to just sort of as we're wrapping up, first of all, I want to, see if you have any closing thoughts, and then just talk about, you've already talked about you personally, but what's it like having such a diverse team that you're part of and also captaining?
It's I don't think I would want to be in any other space because you have so many people who bring so much value to the team because they have their own experience, own culture, own ways of how they grew up and how they trained at home and their approach to fencing. And just having conversations with them, you just see, okay, Albert, foil fencer from Hungary, he approaches fencing like this. And he approaches a bout like this. And he has this mental plan. And then you talk to a Sammy who just works so hard in the gym. And he's literally the most athletic person on our team. And he tells you about how, or shows you every single day how he works. And then you have Diego, who's still with us, and we're so blessed to still have him with us and showing him how an Olympic athlete trains. So you have so many people that show you in so many different ways how you can work towards the same goal, and you can literally tailor your own method with them supporting you, and you literally can witness greatness every day at practice.
Last thing that we have been, I think, really fortunate. Talk a little bit about our strength and conditioning coach, Jack Burrows.
Jack Burrows is an absolute, I don't even know what word would describe him best. He's amazing. He had the way he's been pushing us, like not even just pushing up, the way he tickles out our motivation and really our fight and how we approach strength and conditioning. I've never seen that before in my life. Like compared to the years before, me coming back this year, seeing conditioning, lift, like we're all happy and eager to go to conditioning and lift. Like it's fun every single time. And like everyone at lift wants to put more weight on it, When we have a new lift and Jack goes like, okay, today we're going to do like lighter weight, you can see in people's faces, they're like, oh, I really wanted to push myself to the maximum again today. And it's the same in conditioning. Like, I'm so thankful that we have Jack. And I honestly believe if you do what he says, you can blindly trust what he says. And that's literally the formula for greatness. Because he's never going to lie to you. He's always going to keep it honest. And he knows 100% what he's talking about.
You know, the best one that I saw from last year to this season is Victor. Victor has so bought in, and he was carrying a bunch of reels. I'm like, oh, you've gotten really strong this year.
Victor's ripped for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything I missed that you want to add?
Once again, I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you so much for having me on this podcast. Ohio State fencing has changed my life. I will never, I wouldn't be the same without it. And every single day I get to be here is a great day.
Well, thank you, Mr. Bülau. It's been a pleasure to have you. Looking forward to a great season ahead. And we're going to have you come back with your fellow captain, Alvin Rai. And hey, we got a big competition coming up this weekend. Let's see how we do. All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
All right. I'm Don Anthony. This is the Swordsport podcast, looking at the world of fencing through the OSU fencing lens.